Hello and welcome to another Spark AR video. This time I'm going to be answering some overdue questions over on my YouTube comments section, and this video is going to cover two of these questions. And the first question I have been sent was sent by Audrey Ind, who made a comment of how to make a switch on screen tap between two face meshes without using the UI. Now, luckily this is one of the easiest effects to do. So all I have created is I've just inserted a face tracker and two face mesh objects assigned to that face tracker. So I just went to add object and I inserted one face mesh and then inserted a second face mesh. So at the moment I have these two here. If I go to my preview window and tap my screen using screen tap, you'll notice I can change between the two. But how did I do this? So I'm just going to quickly remove my face tracker object. I'm just going to add in a face mesh, which will also insert our face tracker for us, like so. I'm then going to click on my face tracker and add a second face mesh, like so. And make sure this is another child of the face tracker, like this. So we should have two face meshes overlapping each other. I'm going to give one face mesh one texture, so I'm just going to go to my textures and assign this to material 0, which is what I created earlier, and the other face mesh to material 1. And these two will now be on top of each other and at the moment do nothing. So I need to go to view and show/hide patch editor. Let me just remove all this for a second. So with my patch editor open, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to interaction, and this is where I can choose what my method of control is going to be. So in this case I'm going to go with a screen tap because that was what was requested, and insert that patch. And then from this tap control I'm going to add in a switch. So I'm going to basically up here I'm going to type in switch, like so. And this will give us a on-off control essentially. So with this switch in here, I can now link from my on or off controls from this switch command. So I just can simply link off here and I could add in a pulse or an animation or audio clip that plays, etc, etc. But all I'm going to do actually for this, to answer this question, I'm just going to click on my face mesh 0 or my first face mesh. I'm going to go over to its properties, and where it says visible, I'm going to click on this little circle next to the visible tick box, like so. I'll add that to our patch editor, and I'm going to link our on-off to the visibility on this, which will now turn this off. And I'm going to go to face mesh 1 and do the same. So I'm going to go back to properties, visible, click on the little circle and add that in. But this time I want the second face mesh to be the inverse of this one. Because if I link this up straight to our switch, they'll both turn off, when in fact I want one to turn off and one to turn on and swap between the two. So to do that I need to go for my drag from my on or off switch, like so, and add in a NOT gate, like so. This is basically inverses the control between here and here, and then link this to my face mesh visibility. So when this is not visible, this is visible, and when I tap my screen, when this is visible, this is no longer visible. So you see we now have a toggle between our two face meshes. And this can be done with any asset within our scene. It could be used for our plane tracker, it could be used for 3D objects, it could be used to play or stop a sound. So you can sort of see how very easy it is to do without having to use any script. So leading on from this, the second question I got was from this individual here. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that because I sadly can't speak any other language than English. But the comment was, can you please make a tutorial on how objects can appear or disappear because of smiling, winking, or any other gesture, I imagine. So I'm just going to show you how to do that using the same template. So let's just move this all up here like so. So in order to control things via our face or by a gesture, I need to make sure that I am on my face tracker, and I go to my interactions patch, and I need to create an interaction patch essentially. So I could either create usually ones that are given for us, like so, a blink and eyes open, eyes closed, etc. But all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a producer patch, and this will import us a face finder, which then is looking for our face, which is face tracker 0, because if we had multiple faces in there, we'd have to tell it to control which individual face. Otherwise, if we just say smile and we don't assign a particular face for it to track, it will apply to all of them or not apply to any, essentially. So you can sort of see if we hover over our face tracker like so, we've got face, 3D position, 3D scan rotation. What I want to do though is I want to link off from the face, and I'm going to give it a control. So in this case the control is going to be when somebody smiles, and I want to have something change. So I'm leading on from my previous quick sort of setup here. I'm actually going to just rehook in the smile to visibility on this, and I'm also going to link this like so. So every time you smile, it's now going to change between the one face mesh and the other. So we have to wait for this to loop round like so. So now it's not smiling, so now we've gone back to this original face mesh. When it smiles again or is detected as a smile, it will change back to our first face mesh. We can also link from this face, link off other interactions. So we could say every time that the mouth is open, we want, let's say, we could say we want a sound to play, or we want a kind of texture to change, or we could have it so we could change the frame in a animation, which if you look at one of my previous videos, which in fact some of these comments came from, you'll be able to find out, and I'll probably put a link to my playlist below. So you can sort of see how we can have multiple controls coming off the same face interaction. So hopefully this answers those two questions. I will be aiming to answer other questions down the line, so if you've got any other comments or queries or want to know how to do anything particular, let me know. And if I can't answer it via a reply, I will try and do more video content as a response. So thank you for watching. I hope this helps those comments that were sent through. And although this is something that's quite simple to actually set up, I can understand why some people who may not have used Spark AR could get potentially confused. But don't worry, this is all part of the game. Thank you for watching.